Headbangers podcast today. We're here for the main man, Gavin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's been a long old weekend, but it's been a good one. I feel like I'll probably get crucified for this, but it feels like the best Damnation yet.
Honestly, mate, it's been absolutely phenomenal so far. High Command, Undeaf, like so many great bands. I'd say what I was saying to Nathan yesterday, I feel like the best thing about Damnation is like you just get bands that you're passionate about. It's never about anything else, but just like you are truly a fan of the music, which is amazing.
Absolutely, and it doesn't also need to be my favourite band. I mean, there'll be plenty of bands that played today that I didn't catch or wouldn't particularly be that interested, but I know that they're excellent. I know they're excellent in that genre, so it's not just about me putting on bands to be like, oh, impress me, or this is about Gavin. There's plenty of bands. Well, I'm not the biggest thrash fan in the world, but I book a lot of thrash, or have booked a lot of thrash bands. So I'm just delighted when they go on and put on a great show. But that said, this is the most Gavin-centric Damnation ever. I mean, going from Nordic Giants to Julie Christmas to Amon Ra, and then in between going to like Psy or Bosk or whoever it's been, those are my bands, you know what I mean?
Well, I remember you mentioning Amon Ra with the Bloodstock podcast when you guys did the collab, and I knew that you wanted to get them on, so I knew that was a personal one for you.
Yep. I mean, Amon Ra, we booked them in 2012. We had them in the third stage, and it was just before the UK kind of got it, and it was quite empty. And the Clash were actually wizards, and then we had them back in 2015, and by that point people did get it. They were like, okay, I'm not great, and now they've moved up to the level they are now. I mean, that crowd today was phenomenal. They're that band, they're great, they're fantastic, so that was a special set.
Oh yeah, man.
So one thing as well I want to ask is there a band that hasn't played Damnation yet that's on the bucket list?
Well, especially this size arena now you need to think about, difficult to book bands, but bands Behemoth, Gojira, Meshuggah, they real big headline bands. Well, the ticket sales weren't what we wanted them to be this year. It's been a great weekend, but it wasn't as busy as we wanted it to be. It wasn't as busy as last year, and maybe you need to look at it and say, well, if you're working in an arena capacity, 6,000 capacity arena, you need to be honest with yourself and say, do you need those big money bands? I mean, so there's a lot of bands on the bucket list that I just like as a fan, but now I'm looking at the kind of bands that beforehand I would have been that fussed about trying to get. That there's a need. If I try to sell 6,000 tickets, you need to get some names with that clout to sell 6,000 tickets without losing Damnation. That's not about going and getting Five Finger Death Punch or Sleep Token. It's about the bands that still fit Damnation's vibe, but trying to get them. But that's going to be a hard ask, because the bands are tied up a long time in the future.
Oh yeah, they've all got like UK exclusives already down the line and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, it's been a phenomenal Damnation, to be fair, this year, so hats off to you. One thing as well I want to ask is just, how did it start and how do you think it's changed the most?
Well, it started through a wee bit of frustration for myself. I was 23, and I started getting a bit more extreme metal, and as much as I've always loved downloading, I still go to download as a fan. There was definitely a type of music that I wanted to see promoted at UK level, which hasn't changed to this day really. All these bands we're watching them, we can hear Rotten Sound making an absolute noise in the background. Those type of bands deserve a platform in the UK as well, and that's why Damnation was born. We've done that, and we had your likes of Gore Rotted and Sixth and Ethel Duath and Ackercock and Speedholm on those lineups. And what's changed about it? It got bigger. So nothing else other than it's the same ethos. It's the same. I started it. It's ultimately, even what I organise it with Paul, it's my festival in the sense that I own it, and it's still my festival. I still own it. There's no big sponsorship. There's no corporate entity behind it. So it's the same. Ultimately, it's the same event, just done in a much bigger scale.
But yeah, I know we've only got you for a short time, so thank you for doing a quick one for us.
Pleasure. Yeah. Thank you, guys.